If you are elected, what are your top 3 priorities as a legislator?
Hello, everybody. I'm Jeff Gabica. I'm actually second generation Idahoan. I think I recognize Dana from my work with Idaho Dance Theater as a fundraiser for them back a few years ago. Top priority to me, and I've made it publicly known, is to raise the minimum wage. People have been living at $7.25 an hour now for 12 years. Meanwhile, cost of housing has gone up, inflation, of course, has stepped in, and there's no way that people can compete at $7.25 an hour with the kinds of rents that we are seeing around this the Treasure Valley. I don't think a person that's earning $1,100 a month could possibly pay rent if there was only one of them earning minimum wage on a full-time job without at least getting 2 or 3 jobs under their belt. Secondly, of course, I'm interested in healthcare and making sure that we expand Medicaid because people have been waiting for it for a long time. And I think it actually got more votes on the ballot than Brad Little did when it was there. So we need to do that. And then, of course, education. We rank very low in education and mental health issues in Idaho, and I certainly want to bring attention to education and figure out new ways, creative ways of generating more revenue so that we can expand on our education and both physically and intellectually.
I took my 2 minutes there to think about how I would prioritize my time. So how would I take my goals, but then smush them through the prism of reality and being a member of the super minority? And I think these would be how I would spend my time. The first one I would push for is to fully fund our public school system, whether that means back to '08 levels, whether that means to a level where sub-state governments don't have to continue to pass supplemental levies. But the state's failure to fully fund its public school system is starting to have cascading consequences. Property taxes, go-on rates. There's some downstream effects that really need to be addressed. So my first priority would be to fully fund our public school system. The second one would be to retain our qualified teachers. We have some recruitment challenges, but we have a huge hole in our teacher retention pipeline. The last couple of years, about 1,100 or 1,200 teachers have left the profession every year, and 75% of them are leaving and not retiring. They're leaving the profession or they're going across the state to take a better paying job. So we're training all of these teachers, we're educating them, we're getting them credentialed, we're getting them into our classrooms, and then they're leaving prematurely. That's a serious problem. And then I think my third priority would be, and this is, as the former chief academic officer for the State Board of Education, I'm praying that I get assigned to the House Education Committee, but it's time for that committee to start taking social emotional learning seriously. A quarter of our high school students seriously consider suicide. This statistic has remained static for the last few years, and that's a serious problem. Our students are facing serious challenges, and the legislature needs to step up and recognize that it's not enough for our schools to deliver good instruction. We need to put our students in a position to benefit from that good instruction, and that means that we have to start addressing some of the mental health issues and the trauma that they face. So those would be my 3.
Why should voters select you over your opponent?
Yeah, well, I'm certainly grateful. I serve on the executive committees for both the Idaho Democratic Party and the Ada County Democratic Party, and so I'm really grateful for a robust and competitive primary. I think everyone wins running because it's not easy to do. I think voters should select me because of the fact that public service, distinguished public service, runs in my DNA. As a military veteran, the GI Bill brought me to Boise State. I've served as the State Board of Education's chief academic officer. I was a law clerk to United States Senator Patrick Leahy. The idea of using my unique skill set to better my community is just something that has been a constant in my professional career. They should elect me to this specific position as a legislator because of my passion for both state government and law. I'm a trained lawyer. My PhD is also in law and public policy, but I've also been a law enforcement officer, a legal instructor. I've published in Idaho Law Review. My understanding of the law, everything up to the codification of it, and then implementation, modification after the fact is unique and often unparalleled. And for those reasons, given those experiences, I think that makes me ready to serve on day one. And that's why the residents of District 19 should elect me.
So I'm the only candidate that was raised in Idaho, and I know Idahoans like the back of my hand. I'm Basque and I'm bilingual. I'm the only candidate that supports legalizing medical marijuana, hysterectomies for people under the age of 30, and minimum wage for teachers at $50,000. Those are things I'm going to fight for. I'm the only candidate that filed all of my expenses with transparency, so I'm an honest person, and I've done a lot of work in healthcare. So throughout my career, as an entrepreneur, I worked in the AIDS field, putting together volunteer programs for hospitals that had large AIDS units in Los Angeles with emphasis on HIV and AIDS patient care. So I'm a very compassionate and empathetic person. I am also a true Democrat. I did not support, nor did I vote for Brad Little. I don't support his education policies, and I'm certainly someone that showed up at the Capitol building to protest the anti-inclusion bills that damaged women, people of color, trans people, and the LGBTQ community, which I'm a part of. So when that happened, not only was I down there protesting, but that's when I decided to throw my hat in the ring. I'm someone that has always showed up, and I plan on doing that as a legislator as well.